Okay, so I guess the big question, you didn't see it, so I'm going to tell you about it. I'm put the audio in. The AEW pay-per-view, Punk won. We all saw that coming to Chicago, hometown boy. Then at the media scrum, my opinion, let me get your opinion on this first. How stupid is a media scrum? The sport's a work. It's not a real sport. I see media scrums for boxing, football, all that. Why would you do a media scrum for wrestling? What do you think about that concept in itself?
They're just trying to promote stuff more, by having a media gimmick there like that. I guess it's like they want to do like Japan does. Every time a big show's done at Japan, they do the same thing because the fans are really into it over there and they really want to know what's going on.
Well, they had Punk out first, and the let's see if I can actually maybe I can read it word for word. One of the reporters, I'm making quotations, so to speak, because it's just dirt sheet writers. Went to ask Punk a question, and Punk remembered that this guy did improv with Colt Cabana, his old friend, and he had nothing good to say about him. So he actually asked the guy. I'm going to paraphrase a lot here. How Colt Cabana was, they're not friends. Then he went into the whole lawsuit thing and said, if you're a fucking journalist, you should have fucking integrity. Tony Khan's just sitting there shaking his head like a mouth breather. He should have shut him up in 10 seconds. And then he went on to say, and he was giving names. He's like, then you got some dumb fuck like Hangman Adam Page. He's fucking going out there going into business for himself. He's a fucking idiot. And I have to deal with these morons. He's like, then you got fucking executives in the company, which would be the Bucks and Omega. They're so fucking stupid they couldn't be an executive at a fucking Target. These people are all idiots. They won't ask for advice. The first $1 million gate the company made was from me. It was on my back. I carried it. These guys should be anxious to do stuff. And Tony Khan's just like sitting there with his mouth open, basically agreeing with him as he's shitting on all these people. And then even later, they're like, well, somebody was like, what do you feel about working with MJF? And he's like, all this guy wants me to do is work with ungrateful pricks. He's basically what he was saying was everybody was a piece of shit except him. He was the only star in the company. And Tony Khan did not shut him up. He just kept like apologizing for, I should have told Nick Jackson not to talk about you and all that. Just like a fucking 2-year-old, looking at his hero. Then I guess after the scrum, Omega and the Bucks, word is they kicked his door in, but they went and confronted him, which they should have. He was trash talking him. And I guess a fight broke out, and that trainer he's friends with, that Ace Steel, threw a chair. He should be fired. Punk ended up punching, I think, Matt Jackson a couple times, which the Young Bucks ain't tough guys. Kenny Omega got bit, and the word now, no one knows for sure, is that the Bucks and Omega are suspended, but nothing happened to Punk. I would have fired that guy the minute he went off the rails in a press conference.
Well, didn't they suspend Eddie Kingston for grabbing the Spanish kid's neck?
Yeah, Guevara, yeah, he pie faced him, and he got a 2-week suspension, probably with pay, but still. But yeah, they did nothing to Punk, and Tony's just as he's sitting there like this dumb fuck Adam Page, this fucking idiot, and Tony Khan's just shaking his head. Tony Khan should have had his mic turned off and told him to fuck off right away. I would fire the guy.
Well, maybe the way it sounds like it's kind of a big mark for him.
Would you? Would you? I mean, I get if a fight breaks out, the guy who throws a chair should be fired. Anyone
Yeah,
should, and anyone who's getting in a fight should be suspended without pay. But why would you take the side of CM Punk over your 3 VPs who helped build that company?
no, you can't do that. I mean, the Young Bucks, Omega, Adam Page, they're the top guys there. I mean, I know Punk's in that area, but I don't think he's a top guy. I mean, they put him in that position. He's just been gone from wrestling for over 9 years, So for him to come back and everybody, that's all they wanted was him to come back so they could see him. But now you see how he is. I mean, he's acting the same way he was acting at Vince's. He's probably starting shit in the back like he did at Vince. They got tired of it and they told him to hit the freaking road. You know what I mean? So I don't know. He should be very humble and keep his mouth shut and be glad that he actually got a second run. I mean, if I look at him, he don't look like he trains. He don't look like he does anything but sit around the house and just, drink his beer or whatever he wants to do. I mean, his gimmick with the knuckles, no drugs. I mean, come on, bro. That's such a work. That was a work from the get go when he got in the business. You know what I mean? I was at the arena. I seen him many times at the arena in Philadelphia. And believe me, he's not Mr. Goody Goody Two Shoes. You know what I mean? And what it comes down to is like I don't know why he's threatened. He's probably getting an awesome payday from them guys. If I was him, I would just keep my mouth shut, do what they tell me to do, and leave it at that. You know what I mean? But I mean, I watched all them matches during that show, and I even saw Omega and the Young Bucks work, which was a good match, somewhat, but so many high spots. And then as they're leaving, they're even saying, "Let's see you follow that," And I'm like, "Okay, let's see." So I watched, and they got beat because other matches were better. I did see that. I saw the last match of the pre-show, which was Eddie Kingston and the Japanese guy.
Mm-hmm.
They call him Stone Pitbull. Forget his name though.
Shiro, I don't know it.
Yeah,
They kept
Shiro.
hitting each other.
Yeah. All I know is I thought that was a great match. I mean, that's just me. I know they did 100 million chops, but the crowd was into it, and I even said, let me see them follow that match. You know what I mean? Because I thought that was a good match.
They sure put over the heels. I mean, I don't know. To me, Punk, do you think this thing with Punk could be a work?
Possibly, just to get more views and get more people interested. I mean, you look at Vince and them. I mean, Stephanie and Shane. I mean, and Triple H with Shane, Shawn Michaels. I mean, come on, they're bringing back at least 20 something guys that have already been let go from Vince, and they just keep bringing people back.
And I found the quote when Adam Page, I can't remember his exact words, when he said on live TV, how Punk got basically alluded that Punk got his friend Colt Cabana fired. And when Punk, when he was talking about it, he said, "What did I ever do in this world to deserve an empty-headed fucking dumb fuck like Hangman Adam Page go on national TV and go into fucking business for himself? For what? What did I do to him? I didn't do a goddamn thing." And then he said, and then you got the people who call themselves the EVPs. They should have fucking known better. This shit's none of their business. I understand sticking up for your fucking friends. I fucking get it. I stuck up for that guy, Colt Cabana, more than anybody. I paid his bills until I didn't, and it was my decision not to. Now, when somebody, Adam Page, which here's where I really disagree, who hasn't done a damn thing in this business, jeopardizes the first $1 million house this company has ever drawn off my back, goes on national TV and does that to me, it's a disgrace to the industry and a disgrace to the company. We're far beyond apologies. I gave him his fucking chance and it didn't get handled. And you saw what I had to do, which is regrettable, lowering myself to his fucking level. But that's where we are right now.
Now, why does he keep saying Adam Page went into business on his own?
What is that? That one interview, it's been a while, Adam Page said something like, which I got. He was, you're the guy from the other company. I've been here since the beginning. This is my belt, but it was like, yeah. And you don't belong here in the locker room or something like that. And Punk took offense to it, because I guess Page is Cabana's friend. Maybe Page shouldn't have said that. Okay, on national TV. He didn't say, hey, you got Colt Cabana fired. He just kind of alluded to it. But what Punk doing this and then dragging the other people into it and everything, to me, it's just stupid. It's like, this guy just seems like a fucking troublemaker.
He's a drama queen. Honestly, he's a drama queen. Pretty much that's what he is. And he's always been that way, especially if you don't get his way. But to me, they're giving him everything that he wants over there. So I don't understand. Like I said before, just keep your freaking mouth shut, dude, and do what you're supposed to do and just collect your check. Shut the fuck up. I mean, what the hell, man?
Well, if you think, remember the night he came back in Chicago to that big ovation, the big $1 million house, the crowd went nuts. The ratings were, I think, right at 1 million. And then what happened? They went right back down to where they were before he ever joined. That was a one-time thing. I just signed him to a year, and that was it.
Well, that's exactly why I had said it. People were just waiting after 9 years to get him back in the ring. AEW hired him. And of course the ratings went up because everybody and their mother wanted to see him again. And then once they saw him again, they're like, wait a minute, he's the same guy. Nothing's changed. And, he gets the belt, gets hurt, of course. Now they give him the belt back, of course, in his hometown. I would have had him lose because everybody, and their mother probably knew he was going to go over because he's home, I think Moxley's a better champ. That's just me. But
now, what I thought would happen, and of course it didn't, but MJF is back in a stupid angle where that Stokely gets him. Anyway, whatever. Then he's the mystery guy, but at the end of the show, he tells you who he is, which to me is dumb. But why didn't he do the old gimmick like in WWE? You win that fucking chip, you can get your title match whenever you want. Punk's sitting there beat up. He runs down, cashes it in, pins him, takes off the mask. It's MJF. Because when he came out, that crowd started chanting MJF. They forgot all about Punk.
Oh yeah, I think he's more over now. And I knew I had a feeling he was going to pop up, but I just didn't know when. And then when I seen the Joker gimmick, I didn't even think it was him because it didn't. To me, I couldn't tell. So I was very surprised, but I wasn't surprised that he won the chip because I guarantee his new contract, he signed it, and it guaranteed it said you're going to get a title shot and possibly a title run. So
yeah, he's one. Then even Punk in the beginning, I apologize for my dogs, everyone listening. He even said, "Oh, I'm so excited to be here, and I'm so excited to work with the young talent." And now he's like, these dumb fucking kids, they don't fucking listen, and I'm tired of working with these pricks. It's like, go away. I mean, all kidding aside, he's a good talker, but when I see him in the ring, I see an average worker at best. I don't see a Kenny Omega. I don't see a Moxley. I don't even see a Kingston. I just see a guy who's having independent style matches. I see nothing special about him.
that's what I'm saying. I don't see anything special about it. Like he can't lace up Omega's boots. I mean,
No.
that guy works his ass off. I got to give him super props, man. He works his ass off. And Danielson too. Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
I mean, he's an amazing worker, and he gives everything he's got out there. You know what I'm saying? And even though I wasn't too thrilled about the match he had, I still think they did work their asses off. I can't say they did.
And now, what would it? Let's say that was the media scrum, and instead of Tony Khan sitting there going, everything Punk said. If that was Vince sitting there, or even Hunter now and Stephanie sitting there, how long would he have been going on a tirade before they shut him up?
Probably not. Maybe a couple minutes, and they would have been like, "Cut his mic, cut his mic." You know what I mean? Because they'll do that.
Would they have fired him, you think?
Well, I mean, look what he used to do for Vince. He would cross his legs, sit in the middle of the ring, and sit there and have a conversation and just bitch and bitch. And I know he went over time a million times because you only have a certain amount of time, especially for TV. So it's all about him getting himself over and putting everybody else down, which is not the business. I mean, for you to look good and for you to make people think that you're good, is you got to put the other people over, make them look even more better than you because you beat them. If you're cutting down guys saying this guy sucks, that guy sucks, and then you beat them, all you're doing is letting people realize, yeah, what you said was right, but it's not the facts. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, he talks too much, and that's what it comes down to. Because I think that fucking audience was split. I think half of them wanted Mox, and I think half of them wanted him to win. So, I mean, like I said, he's got to learn, and I guess Khan's got to realize this. If they lose him and get rid of him, it ain't going to change anything with them. I think he's too concerned that if we get rid of him, Vince will hire him back right away. They ain't no fucking way. They don't want him. You know what I mean? They would have brought him back years and years and years ago if that was the case. He did his UFC after WWF, which was a failure. You know what I mean? That exploited him big time right there. That just showed everybody he can't fight. Got his ass beat twice. And the guys that he beat, honestly, took it easy on him. They could have beat him probably so much faster and so much more vicious, but they just said, you know what? He's not even my level. Let me just beat him without hurting him like Gracie does. You know what I'm saying?
What do you think Paul Heyman would have done in that situation? Would he have fired anybody or suspended anybody? Or
he would have been pissed, and knowing Paul, he would have sat back and said, how can we make an angle out of this so we can get more people to come in? You know what I'm saying? So that's how Paul was, and we were all like that. So he let us do our own. I mean, he would have an idea and a generalization of what he wanted us to say or do. And then he would say, look, you add your specialty to it, and we would do that, which was no problem. And that's what gave us, a lot of free range over there. And If you notice, if you watch old ECW shows, you just watch the first match to the last match. Every single match gets better. You know what I mean?
Now, what do you think will happen? Let's say Tony won't do. Well, we're pretty confident Tony ain't going to do nothing to Punk. But let's say, okay, well, you're suspended Bucks, you're suspended Omega. Now, let's say they really do get pissed and they say, fuck you, we quit. And after everything goes, Triple H would hire. I know he would hire Omega in a heartbeat, but Omega would probably just go back to Japan.
You
The
got to
Bucks, I'm
realize
sure he would hire. Well, now,
people.
what would hurt more, losing those three guys or losing Punk if you're Tony Khan? I think losing the three guys.
If I was Tony Khan, I would say losing the Omega and the Young Bucks would be devastating to them. Number two, Kenny Omega went to WWF already. He was already there. They let him go. Okay, his style, they can't compete with his style. His style is just too intense, too Japan style, just too hard. It's just too much. They had him there. I heard even the Young Bucks were there, and they let them go as well.
Yeah, they didn't like their tryout style. They just didn't care for.
They didn't care for it. So them staying at AEW to me is very, very, very important. I think getting rid of Punk ain't going to make a difference because MJF is going to get the belt and beat Punk anyway. It's going to happen. I'm telling you, I know for a fact.